great comment here on when to sell stocks. We all likely made money on oil stocks over the last 6 months thanks to the unfortunate attack and war, but we have to now decide whether to sell or not. We have discussed oil for 2026, all you need to know on the analysis, the top big companies. When oil was at 57, we discussed some really good dividend Norwegian companies 5 months ago, and that was here, especially here, I started to get interested in oil again. Then it boomed, now it is going down again. But my fundamental thesis to oil is very simple. If it is around 60, starting to be fairly priced in a crisis at 40, then it is a bargain and you just wait for the cyclical bottom. However, we have now had this boom, and the key factor there when it comes to selling, this was not fundamental, it was just temporary. At least we hoped it would be temporary. And then a lot of people here entered like gambling, trading, betting. Will it go higher? Will it last longer? Some people said if this lasts longer, there will be oil at 250 and pushing up prices, things like that. Now we are slowly getting back. Another stock that I discussed last year, I bought somewhere here, I sold one part here, the rest here, I think. So I made a good return on this dividend plus 10% yield over the year that I held. And now the question is, was it smart to sell? Of course, now that the stock is lower, it looks like it was smart, but you can never know those things. Because when it comes to investing and selling something, I always approach it, whether you buy something or you own something, if you hold, you're buying it likely every day. And then you go through a margin of safety analysis, the yield. This is from Aker, from that company that we discussed. This is from my research platform. This is the premium version of the template. The stock price is now 30. I input dividend, the expected growth rate, 10% yield expected. And you can see here at 24, it was trading at 11% expected 12 return below my intrinsic value. So I started with opening a position. Exuberant, we are already below that, but this depends on oil prices. Margin of safety declining. You can see here. Here I would have opened likely a bigger position. So when it comes to selling something, this is the niche I want to focus here is, did the fundamentals change when the stock went up? If the fundamentals didn't change, the competitive advantage didn't improve, it's still a commodity business, for example, on oil, is there a long-term moat or it remained the same, then you might start considering selling. And this was just temporary. We made our money and that's it. Because when the stock price goes up, the risk is up, the return is down, and then you have to see how it fits your portfolio. When it went to 30, then it was much higher than my intrinsic value when it went to 35. So I said, okay, plus it was a lot of political. As you own something, you start knowing the business, you start understanding whether the fundamentals are changing, is this just temporary, whether just the risks have increased with the stock price going higher. But always keep in mind, it's impossible to be good at selling. As they say, you make the money when you are buying something, and then when selling you will miss. Warren Buffett sold Disney, I don't know, he sold IBM, he sold Apple, and then it just keeps going up. But when it comes to investing, in my opinion, it is about the strategy. The strategy, and then you stick to the strategy that you know will work for the next 10, 20, 30 years. Fundamentals, managing risks, and that's about it. Other examples, I bought Scatec Solar, I think somewhere here, sold here, and then it went up in a ballistic way, but then it came back again. I bought Alibaba here, bought more, bought here, sold here, bought more here, sold everything. This was a good one because now it is much lower. I have my personal quadrant, this is the public education and YouTube quadrant, and then we look at things, we value things. On my research platform, you still have great companies to buy. I expect 10-15% returns from a fundamental perspective. So you might also compare those with what you already have and see whether what you have is ripe for selling you made your money, or it is such great businesses that it is still delivering double-digit fundamental returns. Looking forward to your comments. I'll see you in the next video.